voiceover mics that I've kicked to the curb.
You're listening to the dangerous mind of Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov. No excuses, no BS, no pants.
Hey everybody, it's Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov. So these are some microphones that I have bought, tried extensively, and then got rid of because they were disappointing in one way or another, or they weren't effective work tools. So let's start out with the venerated TLM-103. Love at first listen. There's nothing like that moment you hear your voice on a TLM-103 in your headphones for the first time. That mid-range makes me sound so professional. The low end makes me feel like a giant. The high end makes me so freaking sibilant. My first big boy mic. Yep. You know, as I mentioned in my BCM 104 video, I won my first TV commercial audition with a 103, and then I did that gig on it, and then I was really disappointed when I saw it. The VO was too low in the mix, and then shortly afterwards, the same thing happened again. TV spot. And I realized that it wasn't bad mixing. It was no mixing, because most TV commercials these days aren't mixed. They're stitched together by a video editor who drops your VO into an edit timeline, sets levels, and maybe some compression, that gets baked in during export. But because that transformerless circuit on the 103 actually goes down to 10 Hz, and because most mic capsules drift away from cardioid toward omni in the lower frequencies, that larger-than-life bottom end is full of subsonics that blow up your levels, especially if compressed. And then there's only so much they can boost your VO volume fader in post before it's redlining your meters, because that low end is quicksand. It's a mirage that makes you think it's helping you sound better, but it's actually making your vocals harder to mix if you don't manage the lows going in. And that really bright high end, while it does give a sense of detail, that glimmering top end shimmer can sound, it could just be too much. And for me, it was a real sibilance nightmare. So, I wanted to love this mic so much. Build quality is fantastic. I think it looks cool. I like it. But you know what? I still contend that this mic was designed to record orchestral instruments from a distance and not to record vocals from 4 inches away. All right? So TLM-103, the M stands for no. Would I buy this mic again? All right, maybe, but only with a return window. All right? Next. The Lewitt 540 Authentica. This first-generation predecessor to the super quiet Lewitt 540 Sub-Zero, the 540 Authentica, was a total bummer, man. The sonic equivalent of soggy French fries. I think though the capsule in this mic is different. It's a lot different than the one they have now. This is a predecessor to that signature green-ringed capsule. This mic did not impress me much, or at all. And you know what, here's the thing. So I knew that the late, great Kid Vibes had owned one before me. So when I asked him about it, I said, dude, what's the story with the Authentica 540? And he used the word veiled. And that felt pretty accurate. So I just didn't feel like it had that je ne sais quoi on it at all. And the thing is, I bought it from Guitar Center when I saw they were blowing them out for $400. And I soon figured out why. So lesson learned, never buy a mic you know nothing about when it's being blown out, because it's probably a whole lot of no bueno. So I kind of like the form factor. I like the shock mount a lot. So here's the thing. If you ever see a bargain price on an older Lewitt Authentica 540, just keep walking, right? You'll thank me later. Authentica. I'm glad they dropped that because it's such a phony sounding name too. Authentica. It sounds like the store brand of a Costco knockoff wristwatch. I don't know. Would I buy one again? Nope. But I'm not giving up on Lewitt. I would try the new 540 Sub-Zero. All right, next. Chandler TG. Man, I wanted this Chandler Abbey Road TG mic to be the be-all end-all. And this was a ridiculous purchase, driven by extreme gear lust and And a real interest, though, in the concept of a mic that can produce different voicings. Now, I originally wanted to buy a Townsend Sphere, but they were sold out everywhere, and the TG just seemed so cool. So, and someone on one of the gear forums said it was really mid-forward and punchier than an 87. Spoiler alert, it's not. All right, the clips I heard of the TG before I bought it sounded very intriguing. And I love this idea that they were using an external power supply to polarize the capsule at a higher voltage like tube mics do. And really the sonic palette of this thing, like really having 30 different choices, 2 different mic voicings and different EQ curves. I thought that was so badass, man. But the first thing I noticed when I plugged this thing in was like the TLM-103, the Chandler TG has a top end that can take the top of your skull off. This mic is super bright, and I was very sibilant on it. I did like the setting with more harmonic content, but most of the many different settings were just either too much or too little of one thing or another, especially for VO. And the low end on the low-endy settings was way too big. And while it's a good-sounding mic, I came to the conclusion that it is not a mic made for vocal use, especially from 3, 4, 5 inches away. Right? Build quality on it, I hate to say it was a bit lacking, too. Yeah, it looks like a tank, but it kind of feels, I don't want to say cheap, but it does not feel the way it looks. The grill, this shiny metal thing, up close, it almost looks like plastic. The power supply is in kind of an unimpressive small plastic enclosure. Cool mic, but definitely not right for VO. Definitely not a vocal mic. But no regrets. No regrets. Other than to pay for the TG, I sold off a mic that I wasn't using at the time, but now I really wish I'd kept. But lesson learned. Would I buy one again? Nope. All right. So I get it. Microphones are deeply personal work tools that can be different for everyone. You may own one of these mics and love the crap out of it. Your mileage may vary. But if you want a microphone that isn't delivering the results you want, you may want to try something new. There's nothing wrong with you're not cheating on your microphone by trying another microphone. All right? Your microphone wants you to be polymicrophone amorous. Your microphone just wants you to be effective in what you do. And as a matter of fact, your microphone doesn't really give a crap what you do. It's a microphone. It doesn't have feelings. So, I'm sorry to say. Anyway, but what are you feeling? I want to know. Leave a comment, all right? Until next time, this is Mark Yoshimoto Nemcoff, fading to black.